and welcome to today's lesson. I'm Miss Williams. Today, we are going to investigate how does energy move through an ecosystem. Are you ready? Grab your pencil and your science journal, and let's get started. Have you ever planted a garden? I would love to plant one this summer. We've learned that plants use sunlight to make the sugar they need for growth from the matter in air and water. So the best place to plant a garden is outside. But what happens if we take sunlight away? If we plant seeds in the dark, do you think the plants will still grow? Shout out what you think will happen. Maybe you said, plants need sunlight to grow, so plants won't grow in the dark. Or perhaps you said, plants will grow in the dark because of nutrients in the soil. I'm stumped. Hey, we should conduct a fair test to find out which claim we can support with evidence. To conduct a fair test, we need to keep all the variables the same except for one. What one variable should we change? Should we change the type of plant, the amount of water, or the soil and nutrients? Well, to find out whether plants will grow in the dark, we need to grow some plants in the light and some plants in the dark. So we will keep the type of plant, the amount of water, the soil and nutrients the same, and we will change the amount of light our plants get. Let's see what our plants look like. Wow, these 2 cups of radish plants look very different. I kept cup A in a place with plenty of light, and I kept cup B in total darkness. What do you notice about these plants? Let's observe the plants in cup A. Remember, I kept these plants in a place with lots of light. Do you notice that they have big green leaves and that they stand up tall? Or maybe you notice that the plants in cup A have sturdy green stems. Now let's observe the plants in cup B. Remember, I kept these plants in the dark. What do you notice? I notice that most of the leaves are yellow or light green, and that they're very small. And most of the stems look weak. They're white instead of green, and some are even bent over and look dead. After this lesson, you will record your observations of the plants kept in the light and the plants kept in the dark. So, what can we conclude from this investigation? Well, we can say that plants grow better with sunlight than without it. We know plants get matter from water and air, so how does sunlight help plants grow? Well, light is an indicator of energy. Do you think plants get energy from sunlight? Plants are a source of matter and energy for animals that eat them. They must get that energy from somewhere. Because of what we saw in our investigation, I think plants must get energy from sunlight. Plants are producers. A producer is an organism that makes its own food. A radish plant is a producer. Let's use what we have learned to make some claims. First, sunlight is energy, and plants harness energy from sunlight. These seem like great claims, but we need evidence to back them up. Today, we will look for evidence as we explore the question, how does energy move through an ecosystem? To help us learn more, we will read a book titled Living Sunlight, How Plants Bring the Earth to Life by Molly Bang and Penny Chisholm. As we read, listen for evidence to support our claims that sunlight is energy and that plants harness energy from sunlight. Listen to me. Do this one thing. Lay your hand over your heart and feel. Feel your heart pump, pump, pump. Feel how warm you are. That is my light, alive, inside of you. I am your sun, your golden star. I burn. My light energy explodes in all directions. Hey, wait a minute. We just read the words light energy. My light energy explodes in all directions. Aren't we looking for evidence that sunlight is energy? Do you think this sentence is evidence from the text that sunlight is energy? I do. Most fades into endless space, but some tiny, tiny part of my light falls on your small planet Earth. I warm your land and seas. melt your glaciers, create your winds. I do all this, but I do far, far more. My light becomes the energy for all life on Earth. Okay, did you notice that? I think this page contains more evidence that sunlight is energy. Do you see it too? After this lesson, you will record evidence from the text that supports the claim, sunlight is energy. All living things, including you, pulse with my light and keep it circling round and round on Earth. How do living things do this? What is your secret? Your secret starts in plants, green plants. Plants suck up water, H2O, from the earth. In daylight, green plants catch my energy with their chlorophyll. Then, kazap, plants use my energy to break apart the water, break the H2O into H and O2, hydrogen and oxygen. But as plants break apart the water, they trap my energy as little packets. This process sounds familiar. Is it our old friend photosynthesis? Let's read on to find out. Meanwhile, plants are breathing. Yes, plants breathe. They breathe out the oxygen they broke off from the water and breathe in carbon dioxide, CO2, from the air. Now plants use the packets of my energy and the carbon dioxide from the air to build. Chunka, chunka, chunka. Sugar. And with this sugar, plants build all their parts. All the leaves and stems and juices, all the seeds and fruit and flowers of all the plants on Earth are built with sugar made from air and water using my light energy. This is photosynthesis, making life with sunlight, my light. This is my gift of energy to you. Hey, we were right. It is our friend photosynthesis. The authors call sunlight a gift of energy. Do you think photosynthesis is evidence that plants harness energy from sunlight? Let's take a look back to be sure. On both these pages, we read that plants use energy from the sun for photosynthesis. I think this is evidence of our claim. Do you agree? Plants harness energy from sunlight. Let's keep reading. We might even discover evidence for another claim. But wait, you are not green. You have no leaves, no chlorophyll. You cannot catch my light, and neither can your parents, or your friends, your teachers, or any reptile, insect, fish, bird, or mammal in the whole wide world. So how do you get my energy? Do you know? Wow, that was a great book. Next time we're together, we will read more to find out how animals get energy from sunlight. Our first claim was that sunlight is energy, and our book gave us lots of evidence to support it. Our second claim was that plants harness energy from sunlight. As we read, we found evidence to support that claim as well. Let's think beyond our text. Can you think of any other evidence to support our two claims? Do you remember when we did jumping jacks and the exercise made us feel hot? Well, sunlight can make us feel hot. Heat is an indicator of energy. What other evidence can you think of? Well, the radish plants kept in the light looked much healthier than the plants kept in the dark. Can you think of any other evidence to support our claims? That will be your final task after this lesson. Think about what you've seen in your own life, what you've learned in school, and what we explored today. Let's review your task for today. First, record your observations of the radish plant investigation. Then, answer the questions about the radish plant investigation. Finally, record evidence to support our claims about sunlight. Welcome to today's lesson. I'm Ms. Williams. Today, we will continue to investigate how does energy move through an ecosystem. Are you ready? Grab your pencil and your science journal, and let's get started. In our last lesson, we explored what would happen if we tried to grow radish plants in the dark. We found that plants don't grow very well without sunlight. Our investigation led us to make two claims. One, that sunlight is energy, and two, that plants harness energy from sunlight. How did we find evidence to support those claims? We read this book. Living Sunlight. The book gave us evidence to support our claims, but we didn't get to finish the book last time, so let's return to where we paused our reading. The authors had just asked us a question, speaking as the sun. How do you get my energy? Can we make a claim to answer this question? Let's think. How does the sun's energy get to us? Well, we know that plants harness energy from sunlight, and we also know that animals get energy by eating plants. Would you say energy flows from sunlight through all living things? This sounds right to me, but I think we need some evidence to back it up. Let's continue reading to find evidence to support this claim. Yes, you eat plants. When you eat their leaves and stems and juices, when you eat their seeds and fruit and flowers, you eat my energy, my living light. Hey, I think we just found some evidence. Energy flows from sunlight into plants. Then animals, including humans, eat plants, and the sun's energy flows into us. Let's continue reading to find more evidence. So you see, life keeps circling round and round on your planet Earth through photosynthesis and through yourselves. You share life with everything alive. And plants do even more than give you food. Remember how in photosynthesis, the green plants breathe out oxygen? What happens to that oxygen? It fills the air. All the oxygen you living creatures breathe comes from green plants. Breathe in. Feel the oxygen flow into your nose, your mouth, all through your body. Oxygen is a gift from plants to you. Your body uses oxygen together with the sugars from the plants. Your body burns them slowly to make the energy you use to move and grow and live. Without plants, you would have no oxygen. Without plants, you would have no food. Without plants, you could not live. Without plants, there would be no life on Earth. Now breathe out. It is not oxygen that you exhale. When you use the sugars from the plants for energy, the sugars break apart inside your body, changing back into water and carbon dioxide. So now you breathe out carbon dioxide, and the plants all breathe it in. They will use it to build more sugar, food for themselves and other living things. Hey, more evidence for our claim. Plants use the carbon dioxide that animals breathe out, along with water and sunlight, to build sugar. Then animals eat the plants. So you see, life keeps circling round and round on your Earth through photosynthesis and through yourselves. You share life with everything alive. Lay your hand over your heart and feel. Feel my light inside of you. You hold my light and make it live. You are living sunlight. That was such an interesting book, right? Even on the cover, we can see yellow dots in the sky that represent sunlight. Do you see where those yellow dots go? They are inside all the living things. So, by using evidence from this book, we made 3 claims. Do you remember what they are? Sunlight is energy. Plants harness energy from sunlight. And energy flows from sunlight through all living things. We found evidence of our 3rd claim when we read that energy from sunlight is inside plants. And when we eat plants, we're eating the energy that came from the sun. But it's important to support a claim with evidence from more than one source. So, what other sources of evidence can you think of besides the book? We have seen animals, including bears and mice, get energy from food. Food can be traced back to plants. And plants make their food by using energy from sunlight. Wow, we have a lot of evidence from our earlier investigations to support our claim that energy flows from sunlight through all living things. One of your tasks after this lesson will be to record evidence to support this claim. Use evidence from the book we read, the investigations we've done, and your own life. But wait, I still have some questions about this investigation. I hope you can help me answer them. Both cups of radish plants had air, water, and soil. But the radish plants in cup B were kept in complete darkness. Can you help me understand the role of sunlight in plant growth? I think even though the plants in cup B had air and water, they didn't have energy from sunlight, so they couldn't use the air and water to form new plant tissue. That's why they look unhealthy. Do you agree? If so, great. I have one more question. We agreed that the plants in cup A use energy from sunlight and matter from air and water to grow new tissue. But if plants need energy from sunlight to grow, how did the radish plants in cup B grow? Well, when plants produce seeds, they store energy in them for young plants to use as they start growing. Most seeds begin growing under the soil, where sunlight does not reach them. So young plants use energy stored in the seed to start growing. Some energy from sunlight is stored in the radish seeds, which grow into radish plants, which animals eat. So the seeds planted in cup B must have had enough stored energy to grow into plants, even though those plants did not receive any new energy from the sun. But which radish plants do you think have more energy? The plants in cup A or the plants in cup B?
The plants in cup A, right? But how do you know? Well, the plants in cup A received energy from sunlight, so they have more energy inside them. Remember that animals often eat radishes as food. The radishes that grow from the plants in cup A would provide more energy to the animals that eat them than the radishes that grow from the plants in cup B. Animals that eat radishes are consumers. A consumer is an organism that obtains its food by eating other organisms. Humans are consumers because we get our energy by eating plants and animals. We have learned so much about life's energy from our recent investigations. But what about the mangrove tree ecosystem? How does energy flow through an ecosystem? We will explore this question further in our next lesson. Let's review your task for today.
First, record evidence to support our claim about sunlight. Then, summarize what you learned about life's energy in this lesson.